case, they decided to split up in a disorderly fashion. But VP, knowing that the Roshan is not up and was not able to respawn in that period of time too, they were willing to take that risk.
Alright, Nut still had to expend his buyback, but even with that, after the fight, he's 300 gold away from the Ags. For me, I still find this is going to be like the most critical item that'll allow Alliance to have some breathing room inside their base. The ability every second wave to throw out that ultimate, get rid of the momentum that VP have coming in. Like
Yeah.
you've still got Power Shot, you've still got Scream. Admiral Bulldog, he waited so long. He waited until the team fight happened to do the Scorched Earth plus Shiva's Guard combo. He doesn't want to have to use that to clean up Spiderlings.
And they don't have that much HP on the side of VP. Like, Shadow Fiend went for an Eagle Song, so that's where the Scream of Pain and the Sonic Wave and the Shiva's Guard especially, I think, really can burst them down. And also the Shackle Shots from Wind Ranger. So they have multiple blinks. They have so many ways of jumping in. Like 3 of their heroes have Blink Dagger, one of them has Blink, and it's not like you really would need one on a Lich, so they can definitely get the jump on VP. They have to be very careful about how they proceed.
FNG and Lil, they're moving in closer. RK's being hunted down by familiars at the moment. Luckily for him, it's not Ags up for Lil just yet. So he is just going to TP himself back to base and away. Alliance just don't want to be fighting this. They want to do exactly what they're doing. They're allowing Loda to farm up on this top. He does finish up the 4-staff. Nuts gets more space in the bottom lane. Just pushing it out, getting momentum more than anything else. So when VP do try and siege Alliance in, they're not worried about being attacked on multiple sides. And what has VP really got? Like their split push still comes from the Broodmother. And this is a Brood ticking down.
All Brood and Familiar and Precision Aura. They can push out lanes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
But I think that Alliance are doing a really good job of placing the wards around the map too, because VP still doesn't have a gem, so they actually have this really nice ward in the mid lane to see that no one's behind the Broodmother, and that was a potential kill, especially with the sentry placed behind. So they're in a position, very good position to get pickoffs.
S4 ended up just going for the YOLO Shackle. He blinked forward hoping the Broodmother was still going to be in the mid.
I mean, there's not that many opportunities where VP are that split up. I guess we see Lil split up right now.
Bottom lane crush, yeah, gonna go on him. These familiars are still here with stuns, but with the Shackle Shot, it doesn't last. But Lil, the focus fire damage from S4, combining it with that Chrysalis does some serious work. And with the Visage down, like he does have resummon, so he can get these familiars back when he respawns the next time. But there's still 200 extra gold going the way of Alliance, and the forcing of the resummon. As long as Admiral Bulldog doesn't die here in middle lane, 4-staff up from FNG. He was starting that. He was starting the Fiend's Grip. The hands went up in the air, but Bulldog gets away just in time.
And now Alliance gonna encounter a run of bad luck with the Roshan respawn. Looks like it was 2:30 after the 8.
Takes a while, man.
I mean, they would have been in a really good position though had they been able to get that. And because even if Lil buys back, it's not like he can really walk himself over there. It's mostly his birds doing a large amount of damage, and it's not like Alliance really have to worry about a lot of AoE that VP has coming out, so they can clump inside the pit without really having their positioning be at a bad position.
Yeah. It's not like they got something like that Slaughter Crush and the big follow-up Requiem of Souls. There's no AoE control. That's kind of what they had like a lot more in game number 1. That was when you had like your Darkseer doing serious lifting.
Yeah, Alliance don't really have to worry about clumping as long as they can, let's say, I guess, doom the Shadow Fiend if he's channeling Requiem. So G will have to be clever about his Manta usage if he wants to get it off.
Free gold on legs on the just scouting out Alliance, aka Spiderlings of the Broodmother.
It doesn't feel like VP have a 12k gold lead though. It
really
seems
doesn't.
Much less. Or a range racks up for that matter. But you know, this is kind of what happens when you have a Brood on your team.
It's just the fact like you just don't like it's the effective gold on the map. You don't really feel it from the SF until the fight begins, and now the fact that you went for the crystals for the Wind Ranger, S4 doesn't have that direct attack into the SF. So that's going to cause some problems as well. Ilden's walking around with the Manta, but he's got 3.8k gold on this Drow as well. He could easily pick up the Eagle Song and go into Butterfly as well.
Oh, there's a DD in the... Oh, okay. So...
That's nice.
That's very nice, actually. So that, I think, kind of makes up for the fact that Nuts isn't there at this fight. They have to be wary that he TP, but he's actually the one that can get back there the quickest with a Blink Dagger. So I think it's a good decision by Alliance to make him the one to go back and defend. Because if they see someone like Slaughter or a Doom, they're instantly going to go.
Crush, that Force-Staff gets FNG out of trouble, and now they can feed Trip on S4. Force-Staff out a very long way. God's still going to go for this Requiem of Souls. It'll hit S4 on the edge, but now Doombringer back in the fight with a Sonic Wave hitting so hard. Nuts doesn't have a way out of this one. He jumps in with no exit strategy, and now Loader and Admiral Bulldog scampering themselves away. Bulldog, he won't get chased any further. In fact, it's Loader who, okay, it looked like for a moment he wanted to just blink himself back in again, but it was still on cooldown. And Roshan will start with 3 heroes down for Alliance. They can't contest Roshan. Great fight for VP.
Again, FNG with the plays. He kind of forced Alliance, like, okay, if you don't doom our Shadow Fiend, you're gonna lose the fight. And he doomed him, but it was just a tiny bit too late. The Requiem had already come out, and from there, it was an easy team fight for VP to win. But I mean, with a grip too, they already had to commit a Force Step to the Wind Ranger. She's not doing any damage.
It always seems like VP are the ones who are getting the better initiation off in the fight, and they play it on their terms. Illidan is never on the front lines. Alliance can never reach him. So he just sits at the back. He had a 10-second BKB, which wasn't even required for that fight.
VP always have the lanes on their side though, with the Broodlings, with the Familiars. Like Alliance are the ones that have to TP back and potentially fight 4-on-5 and be like, okay, well, if we don't take the fight now, we have to defend, and then VP just take Roche. So it's just not a good position for Alliance. VP have the luxury of time.
Yep. And Alliance then, like maybe that is also why you feel a little bit rushed. S4 was so low and just want to get out there, and Nuts like, okay, I've got to go in. Threw out the Sonic Wave, hit all of VP, but the mech just repairs most of the damage that was done.
They needed the Chain Frost, I think, earlier. They can also use Chain Frost to interrupt the SF. It looked like he was gusted, though, during that fight, but... Yep. Oh, they actually... I'm not sure if they saw the screen come out from Nuts, but this could be a really good time to push.
Nuts also needs to get the hell out of here. If he blinks backwards, he is dead. And then, with a Force-Staff pushing Drill Ranger forward, Nuts just wants to TP himself out to safety. The Nightmare cancels that. With a couple of races, they do bring him down. Buybacks available. This is... I don't even say a support Queen of Pain, but that Sonic Wave can be up if required. And now God, Amplify. The Shackle won't latch on Illidan.
He's still sitting in positives after the Amplify. That's actually pretty absurd.
Oh, for now. Maybe when Bulldog rotates himself down, but the Brute just wants to push in through that middle lane, but Bulldog, he initiates. This time they get on top of Illidan, and Illidan's so low, but FNG's Fiend Script, it controls them up. The Drill Ranger will actually drop. That Lynch only doing some considerable damage as Loader back in again with a crush, and the follow-up bash going through 3, but Godzilla has so much damage. S4, he'll turn through the Aegis. Meanwhile, amid Brute doing brutally things, taking out that melee Rax. Loader, he wants to try and fight. TV out, that's not going to work. The Shackle, however, controls up God. It's a rampage for God, and S4 has to retreat back out. That SF is just way too big for Alliance to deal with, and they have no buybacks on their dead heroes.
And again, another Requiem goes uninterrupted. That one had to come out from the Lich, though. And Alliance, I mean, they went with the best shot that they had. They saw the cheese on the Drow Ranger, so okay. They have to doom her, so she can't pop the cheese, and if we doom G, it's a lost fight. So they went with the best percentage plate that they had, and unfortunately, yeah, as you said, G is too strong.
Nah, he's so strong. Phobos is split pushing. They can't even grab a fight. They can't dictate the terms of these engagements. Alliance, even with good blink crushes, you get loaded with a triple kill. It's just like there's nothing else to follow up after that point. And VP, they got such sustainable damage just because the SF is so huge. Admiral Bulldog, now with the blink forward, he really wants his kill over on God, and maybe they can get it, but they have to get through that evasion. Able to do so, S4, a little bit harder, and in fact, no, not when the Rays are there. God takes one, Bulldog's down for over a minute. RK is going to join him as Phobos just goes to work, throws back to front lines, and this really is the game. VP, they've controlled it perfectly. They've done the Dro proud. Loader will miss his stun. Bane actually Fiend Script over on the Slaughter. They'll switch the Nightmare over, but already VP with the extra stuns from the Familiars. S4 will drop. Phobos will survive to the bitter end. I think S4 just wants to get a little bit of revenge here. He can't reach him. In fact, he's going to get gussed up by Illidan. The Tier 4 counter attacks, and there it is. 11-22. Vc.Pro will end up taking the game against Alliance, eliminating them from this Frankfurt Major.
I really like how G just stood up there in man mode. He's like, I am God, you cannot kill me.
He really is. And he had support everywhere across the map. The control was perfect from VP. They're on comfort heroes. The Familiars were dropping everywhere. The Broodmother was always adding pressure. Man,